Hello YouTube, welcome back to Richmond. It's been brought to my attention by one of you lovely subscribers that I hadn't actually reviewed my new Digitrax controller. I'd shown you me taking it out of the box and then just explaining that it worked. And that was about it. I hadn't done anything else with it. So, why don't I review it? For starters, it's here, it's switched on. When you switch it on, it comes up with welcome to DCS52 on the front, and then it will flick to this screen which will show you the last locomotive address that you have used, or in the case of it being brand new and out of the box, it will just come up with 4 zeros, because obviously you haven't put any address in. So to start running trains, you have to press the on button, which will light up the track status LED, and you may have heard a couple of relays clicking behind us. That is my DCC Concepts point decoders coming to life. So it's just the relays and that clicking just to make sure they work. If we just run my L1 for a minute, we're just running it backwards. It runs quite slowly, so it doesn't matter what sort of speed we set it up. And there you go, that's it done. You can select any loco you want, so let's, I don't know, select my DMU. So we press this first, the locomotive button, and then those numbers flash. So if we select 101, that's my DMU, and that's it set. And then we can run that sort of backwards and stop, and then we can run it forwards and stop. So you get the idea with actually driving the trains, the locos. So that's your direction controller and that's the speed controller. They're quite straightforward. Now with locos, let's just select my J72, which is away in the shed somewhere, but if we select it, it is loco 33, so we'll select that. Now that has a firebox flicker, so if we select function 1, and off it goes. It's the firebox is flickering. You can't see it's out of shot, but trust me, it's doing it. But there are lots and lots and lots of functions here. So you got 0 to 9 there, 10 to 19 there, and then 20 to 28 there, and then back to 0. And then if we press that, it'll come up with all of them, so it will show you which ones are active. And also that TRK lights up to show you that the track power is supplied. So if we press that again, it'll go off. The LM there shows that it's connected to the track bus. And I believe if you have programming track connected, it will come up with a PR or PM. Now, changing points on this couldn't be easier. We press the switch button, which is this here, and it's currently set at switch number 1, which we don't have a switch number 1. But if we select, let me just tilt up a bit. So if we select number 16, which is this one here, so we type in 16, and then we can throw. Oh, it's already thrown. So we'll close 16, and the solenoid fires. Open 16, and it fires again. Let's just close that. And then next to it, this crossover here is number 17. So we type in 17, that throws both points because we've got it set that way, and then close, we'll close both points. And then to come out, you can run the selected locomotive in switch mode, which is helpful when you're shunting. So say for instance I want to shunt my goods yard or run a locomotive round, I can have it in switch mode and I can change the points or change them back as the loco progresses through the layout. And then if I want to stop and select another loco, we can come out of the switch mode, and then we can select, I don't know, number 28, and then we can move that around, which is my standard class 3, and then we can stop that, and we can go into switch mode with that. And we're also going to switch mode while the loco is moving. And also, as an added bonus, for the expandability of this controller, there are 2 LocoNet points in the rear here, so you can add extra throttles, and I do believe you can add up to, it's either 5 or 10 extra throttles I think you can add, and obviously these ports are expandable, you can add more ports. There's also a USB port somewhere on the back, just there, and you can connect that to your PC, laptop, Mac or MacBook, depending on what you use, or even to a Raspberry Pi or Arduino or whatever you use, and you can run JMRI through your computer and control it out that way. So if we added extra throttles, we could then use this as the base station, and we could have handheld throttles for somebody controlling the fiddly yard or the station as train drivers, and then we could have somebody at this one controlling the points and the signals. Now I don't know an awful lot about programming, but if we click on this button here, it'll bring up this one here. So last menu is just takes us back to that, and you can have quick decoder setup, which is number 1, CV programmer, which is quite self-explanatory. For those of you that aren't familiar with DCC, your CV programmer, you can alter the CVs on your decoders to alter the running characteristics of your locomotives. Option switch setup, I haven't really got into that, so let's just have a look. So it does tell you down the bottom here what you're doing. So I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little bit of text showing you what to do. I haven't really done any of that. Let's go back to the menu. So quick decoder setup is basically you're setting your long and short addresses, CV29, speed table and all this sort of stuff. Setting the points up was a breeze. For those of you who watched the previous videos, setting up the DCC Concepts ADS point decoders was simple. It's all done from the actual decoder itself, and then you just select your turnouts on here and set everything. The Gauge Master one was just as simple. So all your functions will be there for sound, which is a good thing for me to look forward to, as I will be having at least one sound fitted locomotive on the layout soon. And I was drawn to this controller mainly for the sort of train-like controls. I didn't really want anything with gimmicks, although I suppose the direction controller and your speed controller are a bit of a gimmick because they look like locomotive controls. But I think it's a nice touch rather than just having a throttle wheel. And it's a nice tactile. I mean, that's got a nice, and that's a lovely bit of feedback, force feedback to that as well. A bit of resistance in the rotary switch, and it cost me £200 from Digitrax of Lincoln. As you've seen in the previous video. And for £200 for this system, I think it's pretty damn good. It came with everything you need to set up, so it came with your power cable and your plug, and obviously the controller itself and instructions. From my limited experience with DCC, it's far better than the Pico Smart Control Lite, which is my previous controller that it's replaced. And it is far superior to the Bachmann Dynamis Ultima, which is my last controller, my first controller. Well, it's still a starter set. By a long way, it's a lot cheaper than other systems that Digitrax sell. This is a great system. It looks a lot better than their previous Zephyr system as well. The switches aren't those silly cylindrical black buttons that all look the same, and it suits me down to the ground. It does whatever, exactly what I want it to do. I'm not planning on running sort of more than one loco, just by virtue of the fact that my layout is an end-to-end branch line terminus, and as such doesn't really need more than one loco running, although with expanding it with other throttles, with extra throttles rather, the facility then becomes available to run more than one loco at a time. So that's something for the future when I have an operating session with more than one person operating the layout. And obviously with everyone being in close proximity, there is a fair bit of communication required to discuss what points are being thrown. It doesn't give a facility for signals, but I would imagine that will be included in the switch function. While I haven't built any signals for the layout yet, there will be some signals built at some point, and there will be semaphores, so they will need to be controlled by a servo, or servos rather. So hopefully they could be run through either a Megapoints control board or something from Merg or Train Tech or whoever do sort of a servo control board. That's something for the future though. I hope you've enjoyed this review video. If you haven't subscribed already, then please do, and click that notification bell. Soon, I hope, my GT3 loco will be arriving from KR Models. It's currently at sea and on its way to the UK, so hopefully that'll be here in a few weeks. And when it does finally arrive, we'll be reviewing that. It will be hopefully DCC sound fitted, so hopefully that'll give the controller a good workout. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.